Hello, friends. I was trying to schedule this, so give me 1 second. If you're new, what's going on? My name is Stormy Calder, your favorite shaman, high performance coach, Akashic Records practitioner. Okay, in this video, I'm gonna do a channeled message for you guys. Just give me 1 second. Okay. I'm going to take you through an Akashic Records channel on confidence from the Golden Ray of Creation. If you guys don't know, there are many rays. I work with the Golden Ray, and they asked me to shoot a channeled message for you guys. So that's where I'm at. Those of you that are new that have heard me talking about my program, Break the Mold, it's open for enrollment with the promo code Authenticity for the next couple of days. I'm about to close the doors on that. So if you are interested and you want to become the most radically confident version of yourself, go check out the link in the description below and you can learn more there and enroll. Oh gosh, just give me 1 second. Okay, perfect. All right, friends. I'm gonna settle in and drop in and do my spiritual channel. Welcome. Hello. All right. The topic is confidence. They already gave me some pre-channeled messages, but I'm just gonna let it rip and roll and say whatever the channel wants to bring through for this specific stream. Okay. I'm just gonna sit and breathe for a moment and just take in the light of the Akashic Records and move through the channel. And then our beautiful messaging will come through. So welcome, thank you for joining me. When it comes to confidence, there are many different aspects or ways of pursuing this aspect of human development that starts more specifically in the psyche of the mind and moves through the movements of the human body and form through micro expressions, through how you stand, how you sit, how you move, how you walk, how you literally express the energy within you. Here's the truth. Confidence is not something you have to do or anything you have to put on. It is innately a part of your character. The issue that most humans have is that they have been curtailed of their own personal enthusiasm on how they wish to naturally work through and express their own ability to create from their own life force, their own sacred energy, how that wishes to create through expression, which is naturally confident. That natural confidence may come across in a number of different ways depending on the human expression. Confidence can come off soft, it can be sweet, it can be peaceful, it can be knowing. Confidence can also be robust, it can be cutting through the noise, it could be moving through more in a way that would be strong-willed or strong-minded. Confidence can also be met in silence. It can be met in body language. It can be met in sitting back and in relaxing in your own energy and your own sensuality and who you are and who you've become, knowing that there is no reason to strive or create in any way that other people would think is trying to move something forward, because you already know that your energy is creating on your behalf, and that is another natural state of confidence. The truth about confidence is that it's about accessing the flow of creation within you and expressing that creative energy in a way that feels the most right for you in any moment, congruent with your character, who you are, who you wish to be, and who you've become through the process of your lived-in experience. There are many forms of confidence. Confidence gets displaced through childhood, through your different upbringings, regardless of what levels of trauma or just experiences you may have lived through. Insecurities develop when we are young. They are created when we are the most confident in whatever way, again, that confident expression takes on. And people criticize us while we are in our states of natural and authentic confidence. When that happens, we begin to develop insecurities for what is then a lack of confidence or a lack of belief that your confidence is actually secure. Creating insecurities that are rooted in the things that make you feel the most secure, which is your natural state of authentic creative expression. Again, bringing the alignment back to how you express your body form, how you express your identity, how you express your appearance, how you express your language and your voice, and how you express your choice. Your choice for freedom in how you choose to speak, who you choose to speak to, and how you feel, and how you then again express how you feel in any moment. Whether it is a verbal expression, a micro expression in your face, an expression of your body movements, or an expression of what you are wearing, or how you identify to yourself in your image, your identity. When you feel the most free to be yourself, you are naturally in a state of confidence. You naturally will find your confident rhythm, what it is to actually pursue your own personal greatness, unlocking your own personal enthusiasm. For humans, what's ironic is when you're the most enthusiastic, you are truly the most confident. But other humans cannot perceive that confidence as being something beautiful or something to be revered or something to be sacred or something to be authentic. So instead, other humans unknowingly in their own walking sleep states cut you down when you are the most authentic. And it creates an impression in the mind, in the psychology, and in the cellular memory of your body that when you are confident, you should shrink because you might be hurt, or you might need to conceal, or that someone might not appreciate your enthusiasm. And while these have likely been truths through your past, they are what is specifically holding you back from magnetizing everything that you want from this life and this universe to you without forward hard work, hard effort. The hard effort is the effort of maintaining an identity that is not yours, that you think is confident or that you think people want to see or perceive from you, while you hide your own personal authenticity, your own actual confidence, which is the expression that comes the most natural to you. That split in the mind is what creates the hard work. For now, you have to hold a certain level of your own expression back and create a mask and keep up that mask as if it is your identity and authentic expression in order to be believable for those around you. To be believable, you need to enter a state of method acting. That method acting is the trick of the mind, for it makes you think and believe that this is your true identity. And when you think and believe that the mask is your identity, you conceal your true mind, you conceal your true authenticity, and you throw it behind veils. You effectively tell yourself that you are unworthy or undeserving of attention for being who you are, and that you must keep up an appearance, whether that appearance is a physical appearance or an appearance in speech or an appearance in how you act and how you move your body or don't move your body. For example, many of you stay silent when you'd prefer to say something. Your true self, the identity that is your core, that is your most authentic expression, may wish to actually say something to someone when they say something either out of line or something that conflicts with your internal state of harmony. And many of you will place on a mask and produce a level of silence, which then creates a restriction in your body and in your heart, and a restriction in your mind where you have to create many psychological trips, masks to your own self to keep you restricted so that you don't say what you want to say. This reprograms your body into restriction, into holding patterns, into concealment. And this is the difficulty of what it is to be authentic, what it is to be true and real, what it is to be confident, is that you have to find the way to fight the mask, to fight the automatic restriction that you have self-imposed and has been imposed on you from others into your body, where it becomes a very automatic process, where even if you do wish to be authentic, even if you do wish to be confident, even if you have that confidence within you, which all of you do, and you wish to express it, that you will naturally restrict it and hold back, even if your mind is ready to express it, because the body is holding restriction. That restriction are the belief patterns that you're better off dead than you are confident, that you're better off masking and producing what other people need to see in order to believe you, in order to love you, in order to produce for you, in order to be in relationship with you, than it is for you to be in relationship with yourself, than it is to feel whole and holy with the self, than it is to feel self-expressed. This is what it is to detest humanity and to detest the self. To detest humanity, what we mean is there's this overwhelming fight for most humans as they are living in the human experience, for the detest for their own humanity, is that they can't just be who they are. The detest for humanity in others is that there's a striking fear that if you were to be who you are without the performance of what you think or perceive others may need from you, or what they project as those needs to you, that then your needs would go unmet, and that makes you detest the human experience. It makes you wonder, why are we even human? What's the point? What's the point of all of this if I can't even just be myself? It's the plight of every human on this planet. It is one of the most difficult circumstances to overcome as a human, both psychologically in the body and in the heart. For everything around you is training you and telling you to keep your heart masked, to keep your voice small, safe, quiet. And the reason why we are saying small, safe, and quiet is because even those that have the mask of being loud and boisterous and well out there, that doesn't mean that that's confidence. That is just another form of a mask, for internally they feel small. So externally, they produce more in order to cut through the feeling of the mask of not wanting to feel the smallness in them, inside of themselves. The truth is, humanity is at a pivotal point of mind within the consciousness of the framework of the human psychology of the mind at this time in your awakening. Not just for those of you individually listening to this channel, but collectively as a whole. where should you consider dropping the masks and identifying to the true self, placing the skill on the development of feeling safe in this self, which is your natural state of confidence and awareness that comes very, very naturally to you. It's your natural expression. In feeling safe with the self, you would need to then practice and sustain that feeling of safety through positive self-expression, through perfect self-expression. It is a practice. It needs to be practiced. It is never just one and done. It is a livelihood. It is something you produce daily, is the constant reminder to the self that there is no need to self-abandon, even when everyone around you will ask you to self-abandon. Now, how does self-abandonment work? In the way that we are speaking, it's self-abandoning by rejecting your true authentic expression and taking on a mask, whatever that mask may be for you. Shielding yourself from being seen from the eyes of those around you, which can be a method of safety for many of you, depending on your relationships. However, we are going to reach to the most high practice, which is the practice is to release the concealment, to allow yourself to be seen in your authentic expression, realizing that you will absolutely be misunderstood by many. And that it is not your job to keep up an appearance so that others may understand your appearance. But the job that it is of each and every one of you to maintain your own core frequency of belief, your own core of your personal confidence, is to be you authentically over and over and over and over again. Where most of you will find struggle in that is you might be able to be you in a moment, and then you'll move into states of internal conflict. The wars of the mind, when you go to be you again, you'll wonder, is this the right decision? Am I making the right decision? Did I say the right thing? Did I hurt them? Did they hurt me? Is this right? Do I need these people in my life? How do I know who's right to have in my life? How do I know when it's right to express myself? How do I know when it's right to speak? How do I know that when I'm speaking, it's the right way? How do I know I'm not going to make mistakes? How do I know I'm not just going to express myself and then everyone's going to leave me because no one actually likes me? That is not necessarily the truth, but it's the truth at the core of the human psyche, is that no one wants to be left behind. No one wants to feel high and dry or leave everyone else high and dry. And that is the core fear that lives at the core of self-expression. But what if they don't like me? The truth is, a lot of people aren't going to like you. And that's where this work starts. Can you be okay with that? Are you okay with being misunderstood? Can you be okay with triggering others into their own patterns, into their own awakening by you just being you, for the medicine of every human when they are in their truth and their own most high? Is that they will be triggering to those who need that medicine. When you're the most of yourself, you're going to be naturally triggering. Whether you are bold or whether you are soft matters not. When you are completely you, other people cannot thrive with their masks in front of you, and their energy, when they meet, when their energy field meets your energy field, when you are being true to you, it rejects their masks. They can no longer hold up the lie of the mask that they have to pretend that everyone likes them. So the majority of the work that comes into building self-confidence is building your internal self-worth. Understanding your personal value is not something that is constantly reflected by other humans, but is something that you hold internally. So that when other humans reflect negativity to you or can't see your value, that you see your value and you decide to be you anyway. This is most often shaken up in human relationships. When you're in front of other mirrors, other humans, other projections, other mental thought patterns, and other identities, you are in constant conflict between whether or not you will meet their needs for who they need you to be in the moment, or whether or not you will maintain your truth. Whether or not you will maintain your core expression. This happens in close relationships, it happens in work relationships, it happens online with things like on YouTube and social communities, it happens everywhere. So to be confident is a daily practice. It's a practice of returning to the self and being so sure, becoming so secure in your own attachment to yourself, your own understanding of yourself, that you are willing to just maintain your core expression regardless of whether or not people like you around you. The focus we've had is on people not liking you, but the truth is there are also many, many masks of people liking you that aren't necessarily a good fit either. This is the complication of what confidence is for a human and why it's so psychologically dramatic. Because even if you are in an environment with relationships that are reflecting, there may be people that place on masks to pretend to like you, and that may be their mask so that they can get something from you because they do appreciate your authentic expression, but they might not be in their own authentic expression. So then they are putting on nice tactics. They are putting on people pleasing to get your attention, so you give them some of your resource. Some of you might think that's practical resource. Maybe it's money, maybe it's fame, maybe it's relationships, maybe it's social interaction or charisma. We would bring this back to what they are looking for in resource is your confidence. The truth about confidence is you have to maintain your core. You have to maintain your core self-expression, and you have to develop the discernment of the mind psychologically to understand that secure relationship to yourself so that you can perceive when other people are placing on masks to meet you, to get something from you, either to get a reaction on the negative side of it, or to get resource, which is to take some of your confidence on the positive side of it. This is why it's so challenging and so difficult to be human, why it's so challenging and so difficult to be one with yourself, to be confident, is because you're constantly navigating, is this a safe relationship? Is this a safe expression? Am I safe? And only you are going to know these things. It's psychological training. It's a psychological boot camp for you to understand the discernment of the mind and the discernment of other people's projections and the discernment of what your truth is in any moment, whether or not it's an appropriate expression for you. We're not saying to not have tact with other humans. We are saying that your own core expression is as you feel in the moment, which could be as simple as, instead of placing on a mask and telling someone what they need to hear, or telling someone something that they don't want to hear, because perhaps that is your mask, but instead saying, I feel like this when you say this, or right now, I'm feeling like this, or right now it's very feeling based, which helps you cut through the noise of the mind. And even when you tackle your feelings and begin to express more vulnerably, there is an aftermath shock wave mentally of rehearsing through the things that were said or done to see whether or not for yourself, through self-review, whether or not that was the right decision. The truth is, if it was expressed and you were in your truth and you spoke how you felt, generally speaking, without going into codependency patterns, that is the best expression for you. And there isn't much need to go through incessant review, which is what humans do, to tweak and twist their own self-expression to be more palatable for themselves psychologically or for others. The masks go both externally and internally. The mask of the internal psychology is where you might twist and tweak your own expression through self-review so that you don't feel uncomfortable with how you speak to others based on how it makes you feel later. Guilt tripping internally. There are so many ways that humans work to thwart their own confidence, that humans work to prefer masks on their identities instead of unveiling their truth consistently. And it is with this that we wish to share with you one thing that may cut through the noise of this level of creation, this level of fear-based creation within the self, which is to say, if I loved myself in the absolute most wealthy of ways, the most high way, if I loved myself, what would I say? From a position of self-love. For the truth is, everyone is reflecting you back to you. So if you love yourself, that means you love them. If you're coming from a position of self-love, service to loving the self, you will be speaking from love. If you are speaking from love, you are not placing hooks or daggers in someone else's heart, because you have covered your own heart. You are not in a wounded heart place. When you are in the position of self-love, you are no longer wounded, so anything you say could not cause wounds. This is in the highest vibrational frequency. Please absolutely do not confuse this with codependency nor any level of personality disorder. This is specifically meeting the healthiest needs of the mind, the heart, and your own psychology through your divine mind. Your most high, your highest mind, and your ability to meet yourself with love and compassion in any moment. If you can love yourself through your own self-care, which is self-expression, both internally and externally in relationships, then you are always caring for yourself. And because everyone is a reflection of everyone else, and everyone is connected, and everyone is mirroring. If you can love yourself, you are loving everyone else around you. Where people trip up with their own confidence, their own authenticity, and their own self-expression is they self-abandon the love for the self. And they say, I will love the person external by saying what needs to be said, by saying the most kind thing, by giving them what they need, by meeting their needs in selfless acts of service. But in the process, if that is not your core self-expression, you are opening up your heart to be wounded in a number of ways, mostly by the self, because if you leave yourself unattended in your own heart space, which is where the self-expression is realized, then you must, in the dark, seek to find ways to correct your wounded heart in relationships. This is dark heart work, dark magic, often very unintentional. This is the shadow of the heart and where codependency patterns begin from. For when you are in selfless service at the rejection of your own heart, you now have a need. You need love. And you're not getting it from yourself. So you must find ways to get it from other humans, but you are now in an act of outward service. So you cannot get it from the human necessarily in front of you. So your shadow of your heart, your shadow, will reach out in many other ways to find a way to fill that wounding pattern without directly asking for the love. Now, we're not telling you to directly ask for the love, because even that will produce a certain level of rejection, because many humans will absolutely not offer it back to you, for that is not their core expression. The way that you move through this reality in a way that is the most healthy is to produce that love internally. It is to love your own expression. It is to love how you act, to love the things you say, to love how you dress, to love your name, to love what people think about you, even if they don't love you, because it's showing you back to you. If you're the sort of person that receives a lot of hatred or a lot of intense disgust from other humans, you could, in theory, relish in that, not from the place of being like, ha ha ha, people hate me, but from the place of, wow, if that many people can express that much negativity around me, it means that I have taken the time to produce that amount of love inside me, that I don't feel like I need to mask or force them to mask to meet me in order to have needs met. Those of you that are truly expressive will receive a lot of external hate. And the truth is that hatred is not something to look at as a large miscreation, but more as a way of understanding that you have produced the love inside of your heart, that you no longer need them to place on their masks and meet you, that you can actually just accept those humans just as they are, whether or not they actually like you. And you are no longer tempted to make them like you. That is radical authenticity. That is the safety of confidence in the heart. It's not always pretty in the way that many people think that when they're the most confident, they'll be liked the most. The truth is, when you're the most confident, you'll be liked the most by you. What's to deny of that? Who's going to love you more than you? The truth is, you are walking through a hall of mirrors. Everybody's eyes are mirrors. They're mirroring, they're reflecting, refracting, they're projecting, they're creating, they're miscreating. So you cannot see a true reflection. All you can do is to be the truth for you. To cover yourself and your heart in the canopy of true love for you, self-acceptance for you, which is inherently to extend that love, that compassion to every other human that comes into contact with you, for you are no longer trying to trick them into a mask to meet you. You are literally loving and seeing them as they are, accepting them as they are, as you accept yourself and have your own internal expression realized. We know that this may be a complicated psychological concept for humans. We are doing our best to make it as psychologically grounded, mentally grounded, through stormy as we can. But these are vast topics that could be meditated on for years. When you are in your core authentic self-expression, when you are the most confident, which again is not placing confidence on like an outfit, it is being you. You naturally allow everyone else to be themselves, for when you are the most of yourself, when you are the most confident, other people's masks drop in front of your energy. So those people in front of other people's energy who are wearing masks, who are less confident and less authentic, may be very nice, very sweet, very kind, because that's their mask to get their needs met. They know that they need to perform. But when they step into the energy field of someone that is purely self-expressed, purely confident, those masks leave in the nature of the expression of the core energy of the person who's holding the core, their own self-expression, who's confident and comfortable with how they express themselves. And that in itself is the most loving act, for now all of those humans that step into that energy field and lose their masks have the opportunity to look at themselves and say, do I like myself when I act like this in front of this human? Is this my core authentic expression? The rest from there is absolutely none of your business and none of your responsibility. Each of you is working so hard, you don't even know it, in your own ascension practices. As you move through life, you are awakening other humans. Or allowing those other humans to place themselves back to sleep. If someone is not ready to release their mask, if they are not ready to meet you in their core authentic expression, and they would prefer to berate you or to oversweeten things to try to get things from you, they are not ready to awaken. And that's okay. That's part of the respect. Part of the respect of holding your own self-confidence is respecting when other people will not meet you or don't want to meet you or would prefer to go back to sleep and not be so confident or prefer to go back to sleep and not be truthful in their own self-expression. And that is part of the self-love. You're not acting, so they don't need to act for you. And this is what most humans wish to deny, which is why they don't access their own states of personal self-authenticity, radical authentic expression, which is required to unlock and magnetize the highest version of yourself, your highest timeline, your highest destiny track. Is this entire stream is a requirement. You cannot be in your highest timeline and your highest destiny track in your most high frequency without this. Without this practice, you're falling to a lower state of consciousness. You're falling to a collective version of who you should become in order to navigate smoothly through your experience. But it's not truly smooth. It's that you're constantly self-abandoning to meet the needs of the collective around you, which is to be in a lower state of consciousness, a lower state of awareness, a lower frequency. You're not possibly in a destiny track in that frequency. It's not possible. Destinies come with alignment to the core authenticity of the self. If you want to bring in your highest timeline, embody your highest self, your higher self, your highest expression, and claim this world, we'll say by storm, for being confident is a storm by itself, then you must master this level of confidence. This is a most high channel. It is a most high frequency. Those of you that are reaching for the most high, but then act to the most low, and we're not creating a hierarchy to demean you, we're making it simple for the mind to see in polarity. If you wish to be on your highest destiny track with your highest level relationships, the highest attention that you'd like from, whether it's public attention, building your family, however you want to build your destiny, the highest version of your dreams, you must live in the highest version of your self-expression unconflicted. It's not about external conflict. It's about internal conflict. Are you conflicted with your most high? Are you conflicted with the highest versions of you that wish to express and walk through this world in a certain way? That internal conflict keeps you in fate relationships. It keeps you on fate tracks. It keeps you on low timelines, timelines that you were born into, timelines that you were molded into, timelines that are filled with other people's dreams and realizations on what you should be for you. That is only your truth should you accept it. And if you do accept it, then please do not complain to all of the most high gods, goddesses, your own higher frequency, your own higher self, for you have chosen a low track. And if you've chosen a low track and you kick and scream and wonder why your destiny agreements aren't here, why you don't have the perfect relationships, why you're not making the money you want, why you don't have the career moves you like, why you don't have the family you want, or you're not creating it, it's nonsense. We don't hear it. We wish we could help you, but when you wish for destiny, when you wish for your highest awakened states, your highest timelines, your highest activations of self, but you perform like a monkey in a circus, no level of God can help you. All we can do is meet you in your circus performance, which of course we will do, but it is not your destiny. So stop kicking and screaming about why am I not making the money I want? Why is the love of my life not here and present? Why are my relationships a mess? When you have chosen to act in accordance with the conflict of what it is to be in someone else's mess and to be in the quantum entanglement of what those timelines represent, which is the past. Your past, generational past, cultural past, collective past. It's the past. You cannot ask for your highest states of destiny expression and act in the lowest states of performance and expect the highest timelines to reach you. Many of you work through the ideas of quantum jumping. You could jump into a high timeline for a moment, but if you cannot maintain that high timeline through your own personal self-expression and confidence realized about what it takes to maintain that high timeline, you will be automatically booted back down to the lower timeline. That could happen in a moment, a day, a week. It could happen in a year. Having a high timeline is something you dedicate yourself to through devotion and practice to self-love. Being yourself no matter what. Most of you fear that when you're the most of yourself, your entire world will fall apart. We won't take that from you. For if you've built a home, figuratively or literally, the home of your identity, we'll call it. If you have built a home in a way that you don't enjoy, then when you start to enjoy your expression, the previous home needs to crumble. It needs to go. It needs to be dismantled. And the God powers source has no issues dismantling it because you've asked for it. Not because we're trying to punish you, not because it's negative, but because the foundation of the old home needs to be released and cracked and removed, demolished, in order to build your new truth. If humans were to accept this truth, they could let go of the foundations of the previous homes, let go of the previous identities. That is what it is to have an ego death or an identity crisis. It's not really a crisis. It's really that you're rebuilding yourself into your own most high frequency. You're actually claiming your highest timelines. And in the process, there is a very active dismantling depending on how many entanglements you created in the previous identity or house, home structure, the home for your body. This can create massive career shifts. This can create relationship changes. This can create big relationship releases. This can create big relationship transitions. This can create the idea of loss where you feel like you're losing everything, but please, sweet ones, place your focus on where you're actually going. For what you could lose is nothing you want. Let it go. In this process, when this happens, it happens to every human at one point or another, and we're asking you, should you agree to maintain, should you actually want to pursue your greatness? This is your greatness. You would have to become very comfortable with this process. And allow source, allow your higher powers, allow God to build the new home. In building the new home, you have to get very comfortable and confident with your own self-expression while the dismantling is happening in front of your eyes. And to maintain faith in your self-expression that you are deserving of your greatness, that you are deserving of God's gift to God's children. Which is, we want you to be happy. We want you to be self-expressed. We want you to be in the right loving relationships. We want you to enjoy your work. We want you to be well provided for. These are your highest timelines. But to think that you could just jump into that high timeline and continue all of the previous relationships, continue all the previous belief systems, continue all the previous habits, is insanity. And that's what most humans are doing. They say, I'm going to have this better life, but I'm going to keep all the stuff that keeps me stuck. If you wish to pursue your confidence, you have to devote yourself to it. You have to create the map. You have to understand how it works, how you work it, and how to maintain it. To maintain your own spiritual connection through your authentic self-expression. However it is you wish to express yourself. Again, your voice, your feelings, your sacred gifts, your identity, how you see and perceive that, your appearance, your body, how you relate to all the aspects of you. Do you love how you express you? When you are in love with you, confidence becomes a natural state of your self-expression. It just is. It's just you. There is one more thing we like to share. It is this. Should you decide to share a little bit more about your self-care and how you radiate your own personal authenticity, your own personal self-expression, you will find more than enough care from Source, from guardians, and from other humans on the planet. More than enough care. Look for it. Pay attention to it. Focus on what's working and allow the mess to be removed from your life rather than attaching to the idea of the loss of the previous identity. That is what scares people, to go back to the mess and try to reform the old home, thinking it's new, trying to fix the old foundations, but you never made the shift. If you want to occupy your greatness, who you are meant to become as a human, in your highest states of awareness, whatever that means for you, whatever your dreams and visions are for your own life, then you need to stop clinging to the things that keep you from being that version of you. We would simplify this process by saying that while you are in this transitionary period, which many of you are or will be at some point or another, or may choose to be, that should you focus on what's working, focus on the new. And if there aren't new relationships around you yet, then focus on how you love you, how you love this version of you, how you love how you're not holding back anymore, how you love how you dress, how you love how you think, how you love your name, literally. How you love the peaceful state of mind and the peaceful state of being that comes from not acting to perform, to get things from other people, but just being you, which is the hardest thing to do as a human. Why not celebrate that? Focus on that. Find reasons to celebrate it. If there's no one to celebrate with, celebrate you. Find ways to celebrate you. Is it corny? Yes. Does it matter? No. Would you rather be corny or would you rather be upset? Would you rather look foolish to others and be happy? Or would you rather be miserable, be living their lives for them? Demeaning yourself in the process. Disrespecting yourself in the process. Taking your dreams and throwing them out the window and in the trash bins. Think about it. Reframing your mind to understand the discomfort of success is inevitable. Success is never comfort. Success is always uncomfortable. Success means you're being yourself. And to be yourself is to love yourself more than you love other people's opinions of you. And allowing them to share and shape those opinions and decide what to do next based on your self-expression. Focus on what's going well. Celebrate yourself. Find reasons to extend additional care to your own heart so that you are not reaching out and placing daggers in other people's hearts and minds subconsciously. in the dark because you didn't serve your own heart. So now you need service. Release that and give it to yourself. You are worthy. You are deserving. Give yourself the love you seek. That is how you find wholeness. That is how you find confidence. We wish to leave you with this. Should you pursue a life of lavish confidence, you will be the happiest human on the planet. That's the truth. Let it liberate you. Thank you for joining us in this message. We're going to give the mic back to Stormy. It's been a pleasure. Hello, hello. Okay, guys, just give me a moment. I'm going to comment on this, but I just need... I just have to get back into my body. It was a really high channel. And my feet fell asleep. Oh my gosh. That's like the closest to my trance channel states. I'm like, it's like a little fuzzy. Okay. That was refreshing for me. For those of you that don't channel, there's with some of these higher frequencies, like the golden rays is a really high multi-dimensional frequency. It's a 9th to 12th dimensional embodiment, so it's just hanging out with me. I hope you loved this message. I hope you found value in this. I will listen back to this myself as well. Woo! All right. I'm going to jump in and tell you guys a little bit about Break the Mold. It's my program on radical authenticity and personal confidence. It is what I would call the map to human ascension, not meaning human like multidimensional mystery school ascension, but actually like how to be happy in your life. Like actually how to be a happy human, actually how to enjoy being human, how to enjoy the fact that you're on Earth School, you're in Earth School. Break the Mold is about breaking the conditioning of the past. It's allowing the identity shifting process to be an easy one. It is something I have become quite an expert in, which is a lot of what spiritual work is being able to release your previous identity, your previous belief systems, who you've built yourself into becoming, who other people have projected what they want from you, and to create the shift between that identity, which we call the false self, into the identity of the true self, into the identity of your true north, your North Star, your future self, your highest timeline, your destiny track. Understanding that shift is about softening the strongholds of what built you into the first identity. And everyone has this. We all have false identities and true identities. This is something I've worked on with huge amounts of dedication, is becoming my true self. I'm rejecting, releasing, and letting go of the versions of me that were created into being something very different than what I am. Truly, very different than as you see me. I was not created to be this. Like, by God, yes. By humans, no. No, quite the opposite. I had to build this version of myself into being. I had to believe in her. I had to love her. I had to understand her. I had to constantly shift and form and change her identity based on what would bring me into greater alignment, like true alignment with who I actually am at my core and spiritually, while managing, like, I'll call it like the breakup. Like, there's always a breakup. That phrase is just, that's so human. That's just coming through in such a human way. Like, the breakup. What are you breaking up with? Well, first of all, you're breaking up with that version of yourself. And they're not clean breakups. Let's put it that way. You're also breaking up with the relationships that are attached to that version of you. There's no easy way of getting around that. You know, I feel like in spiritual work, in Dark Nights of the Soul, whenever people are doing their own spiritual awakening process, they're trying to bring everyone with them. You can't. It's an impossibility, because the people that are in the first level of attachments, depending on how many times you do this through your life, and when you do spiritual awakening as a regular process like I do, and like people like me do, this is a regular process of understanding the difference between the false identity and the true identity. It's not like a one and done deal. Because even when we access the true identity, okay, now we've got that true identity, but that we start living in the world and we start taking things on even within that identity, and then there has to be another shift, or there's another just elevation. Like, what got you to a certain level of success now, if you're at a good peak point, will likely not get you into the next level of success that you want. And that's a kind way of me saying it won't. Often, like, not even just often. I mean, I'm even softening my words right now. This is what I mean. This is the difference between the false and the true self. I would like to be a little bit more direct. When we're walking our spiritual path, we're also walking a human path. Okay, to be spiritual is to be human. To access more material needs, more community needs, you want more value, you want to be in higher service, you want to enjoy your career, whatever that career is, you want to enjoy your relationships. Like, you're always going to be in pursuit of something, in pursuit of your best, in pursuit of your greatness. And you're not just all of a sudden going to wake up one day and be like, oh my God, I have everything I ever want, I can die now. Like you're always going to want something. You're always wanting. That's part of the human process. We are always wanting. We always have desires. It's not something to reject. It's something to allow. What does it mean if you're always wanting desires? It means nothing you have is permanent. Meaning, whatever identity you created for this version of you, there's going to be another identity, and there's going to be a better version of you, always. So it's understanding that process so that you can work with your own temperance of working that process every time you want a breakthrough, every time you want to create a better life for yourself. I feel like I've heard on countless occasions from people that they're like, I reached all of this level of success. I did everything I wanted. Whatever, job, relationship, passions. I did all of it, and I'm so fucking unhappy. I thought that this was going to make me happy. And when I hear things like that, I'm like, that's so human and so beautiful. And like, how could you think that you were like, where'd you think you were living? Nirvana? Like, this is Earth. Like, you were gonna get shaken up in the process. Like, when you got there, of course you were gonna want something more. Of course you were, because we are always creating. Humans are effortless creators. We're effortless wanters. There's nothing wrong with that. Have your desires. Anticipate them. To anticipate new desires coming in the future means that the desires that you have, once they're realized, will no longer make you happy, and you will want to pursue other desires. And that needs to be anticipated. It needs to be created, meaning there's going to be an identity shift there. There's going to be relationship shifts there. There's going to be a difference in perception, how you perceive yourself and how others perceive you. And is that okay? I'm going to take this in a very sweeping, very human way. The easiest way I think I could describe this, the example that they're giving to me, is that, you know, when you see celebrities, they're like in one identity. The two examples they're just bringing to me are Britney Spears and Miley Cyrus, right? Like they're in one identity. They're these super sweet. What was Miley Cyrus? She was like really sweet, right, character. And then Britney was like the really sensual, sexual character. Like they were both America's sweethearts, right? And then Britney goes and shaves her head. When was that? Like 2000 or something? Like goes off the wall. And Miley went in her whole like rebel direction. Those are the examples of the identity shifts. And those are two people that I think most humans would be like, they had everything. I'm really just giving you a very common human example right now. It's like, they had everything. How could they like go AWOL? And it's like, because they didn't have it, because everybody has desires, because everybody's constantly shifting and changing. And we need to anticipate that. Not only for others, but really for the self. If you can anticipate for yourself that there's no like one thing that's going to make you happy, that the happiness is the process of actually you just constantly becoming yourself, and you change and you grow through your life. You are never, ever going to be the same. I get concerned when I see people that are the same. If I'm like, if you've been the same for the last 20 years, like I don't trust that. Like, I hope you're growing. I hope you're changing. Because there's no, like, to stay the same, how? Everything's evolving, everything's changing. So if you're not changing, it means your internal body clock's doing something in there. This is where disease comes from. You know, it's like, embrace the change, embrace the movement, embrace the evolution. Anticipate the evolution and learn the process of what it is to work with the internal identity mechanisms and identity crises and ego deaths. And all of that comes down to your core self-expression, how you express yourself in a radically authentic way, no matter what that is at whatever points of your life that may be for you. How to construct your relationships around that, how to reject and let go of your past. We always have a past. We always carry it. So even I've done tons of inner child work. I have done tons of therapy and tons of shamanic rituals and tons of spiritual work. And I've cleared so much, but like me today, if I see myself in 20 years, that version of me has the past of me today. And that version of me is going to have to clean up this, right? So it's really about understanding perspective and then understanding the map of the process. That map is my program, Break the Mold. It's 12 modules. I go into deep dives through the curriculum. It's video curriculum where I'm teaching in a very human way, and it's also very spiritual. So everything is me opening up the Akashic Records, opening up my shamanic rituals, and then taking you through the process of the curriculum. There's journal homework, journal prompts that are deep reflection prompts for you to actually like dig into your psyche and dig into your feelings and work through your heart space. And every module also has activations, meditations for me, guided meditations, which are how I deliver energy work from the Akashic Records and from source to you to actually work on your subtle energy body and correct the patterns energetically. Those are living containers. The entire program is a living container. It has its own alive consciousness. It works with you like a medicine, like an energy medicine. It's a shamanic program, not for shamans, but it's the way I design my programs is very shamanic. It meets you physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And essentially, we break the mold. And you can reuse this process at any point in your life that you need to break the mold, because we create ourselves into molds. Again, like I'm like the best version of myself now, and this will be a mold that I will need to break. Maybe even in a year. Like, you know, it depends on how fast you grow, how fast you move, and what you want from your life. How much are you pursuing your own growth? The faster you grow, the faster you evolve, the more molds you need to break. So, you know, when I built this program and started this program, I was like breaking from the mold of your past, from the mold of what you were created into, from the mold of how you were raised, from the mold of how you were taught to express yourself. Now, my perspective now is saying, well, It's breaking the mold of whatever created this version of you. And we go through, when we're doing spiritual work, we go through many, many versions of ourselves throughout our lives, depending on what our desires are. And we get new dreams and new desires, and that births new versions of ourselves. And then we have to go through the process of breaking the mold again, breaking the past, burning it up, releasing the ancestral patterns, being the family curse breakers. I know I got you in my audience. You know, there are a lot of us that are just like breaking the patterns of the past, you know. Understanding what it is you want, why you want what you want, how clear are you on what you want. I just want to look at my curriculum real quick. Clearing, oh my gosh, clearing all of the self-sabotaging patterns and behaviors. So understanding how we self-sabotage our success. When we really, really want something, you could really, really want something and literally work against it subconsciously on purpose to keep yourself from having it. Everyone does this. Nobody gets out of this work. Self-sabotage is something that every human deals with. Understanding presence, understanding how to tap into the consciousness of the heart and into the quantum of the present moment to understand and see your potential, which is what breaks open the new identity and how you need to express yourself now based on what you want and what you want to pursue. And then we jump into, I'm just going through kind of the modules, like summing them up. Then we jump into creating the map for your future. How do you know what your potential is? I teach you. I teach you to unlock that potential. How to activate it. You activate your potential, generally speaking, through action, but I go through a lot of different things in the program to help you to anchor your highest potential regularly so it doesn't slip away from you, because it can be momentary. Someone can step into their highest potential for an hour and then it's gone because they didn't practice it for weeks. And then now the lower potential is now your habitual pattern of behavior, so you slipped back into the previous way of being, which makes it even harder to then bust through again. It takes a lot more fervor, a lot more strength in order to then bust through and create the new version of you again, because you were slipping back, which creates habits and patterns and reference points for your mind psychologically. This program also goes through understanding your power, how to identify to your power, when is too much power, when is abusive power, when is sweet power, when is good power. Where is your power? How did you lose it, and how do you get it back? Everyone has power. It's frequently just displaced among humans, among places, among trauma, among the quantum. This is where we do soul retrievals. I go through how to actually be authentic, how to find your radical authenticity, how to know how to speak your mind, when is the right time to speak your mind, when is it good to be a little more polite. What I will say overall is that when you're learning how to be authentic, it's always messy. There is no way to have a clean, if you don't know how to be authentic, or this is new work for you, which it will be for most of you, like you have to learn who you are. You have to learn how to cultivate your expression. If you've never really spoken your truth before, and then you try, and you must, and I encourage you to do so, it's not going to come out clean. It's going to be messy. It's going to be messy. I actively worked so hard in every uncomfortable environment I could possibly get myself into to speak. Speaking was something that was really, really challenging for me. My throat used to choke up. There were so many ways that I would automatically self-sabotage speaking, literally, which is also hilarious because I get paid to speak. Like I'm a speaker in every sense of the fashion. But I had to build this into myself. Like, there were points earlier in my past where when I would go to speak my truth, like I would know authentically what I wanted to say. I would go to speak it, and then all of a sudden my mind would just go blank, like hello trauma response. My mind would go blank, and I all of a sudden would be like, I'm voiceless. Like I have nothing to say. There were other times where I wanted to speak and I knew what I wanted to say, and then all of a sudden there'd be all of this crazy restriction around my throat. energetically, which was my shadow choking me out, essentially being like, don't say that. And then I wouldn't say it because the level of restriction, energetic restriction, was so present. There are other points, and again, these are just me giving you like human examples of this so you can self-identify. There were other points where I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to say this bold thing, or I'm going to speak my heart, or I'm going to, whatever it was. And I would just, my body would automatically just turn around and walk in the other direction. Like, no control. Like my mind was not like, it's like once you make the decision to do it, there are so many ways that our system is like, get out, like abort, like get out. Don't do that. Don't speak the truth. What's going to happen? And it gets messy. It gets messy. The whole process is messy. Like, I can't tell you how many times my body like walked my ass away from something, and I would stop because I was retraining myself. I've been doing this for years. And I would stop and I would turn around and be like, you're going to go talk to that person. I don't care if you just walked your ass away. And now it's really awkward. Now it's awkward because you left. It wouldn't have been awkward had you just said the thing. That's happened a lot. Like, it's just, and I'm saying this to you guys to be real with you so that you understand. I mean, I would love to see you in my program, but regardless, I would love for you to understand that you're not just all of a sudden gonna like Superman cape out and be like, I'm authentic now. It's perfect. Like, no, it's a process. It's a process, and it's a reverent process. You should be thrilled to have and be the process. Like, it is so, oh my gosh, what's the word? I mean, I guess I don't know if I have the right word, but I'm going to say gratitude. I have so much gratitude that I even have the ability to do this. Like, we live in a day and age where this is possible. There are many different aspects of, not even that long ago, like 100 years ago, could a woman come out and just like speak her truth? Like, no, no. I think we're in a very beautiful day and age where we should just be grateful for even walking the discomfort of becoming the best human that we can become. Because that's not been the truth in the past for humanity. That's not been the truth in the past for Americans, like literally even just 100 years ago. Think about that. So when you go to express yourself authentically and it's difficult, be grateful that you even have the opportunity to do it. Because you do. So why not? Why live in mediocrity when you can have your best life? Is it uncomfortable? Yeah, but you know what's more uncomfortable? Throwing your dreams out the window and living someone else's miserable life, being miserable with them, and being like, the phrase they're giving me is whipped. Being whipped, or what's that phrase? The other phrase, the ball and chain in marriages, or like having a terrible, shitty life, like in the way that other people typically describe it. You want that? I'd rather be uncomfortable and be self-expressive. And be grateful for the opportunity to be self-expressive. It is ultimately safe. It is safe to express yourself. I know a lot of people won't believe that. A lot of women will have trouble, will struggle with that, especially women that have dealt with abuse in the past. But it truly is the most safe to be you, truly. We are met with unsafety when we don't speak, when we are not ourselves. Your voice is the fastest way to gain safety. I have proven and tested this with myself over and over and over again. My voice is what keeps me safe. And that's an expression, and that requires refinement and honing and practice and belief and being willing for it to be very messy. For any of you that are coming out of or that resonate with any of what I've said, like the throat feeling choked out, or just like turning around and walking away, and any of the self-sabotaging patterns, there's like nothing easy about course correcting those. You just do it. And your nervous system adapts to feeling safe as you do it. as you live in the new actions, your nervous system automatically regulates as you're an adult, and you create safety through your expression. It does take time. It takes an immense amount of repetition. I'm telling you this to be real with you, because those of you that don't know me yet, those of you that do know me, I love to set expectations, because I think when we set positive expectations on what people can expect with processes like this, you know, spiritual awakening, there's nothing easy about it. I really try to show the expectation of what you should have, which is long-term maintenance. And understanding that it's going to be messy, so that when you get into my program, or when you do this in any level for yourself, you don't just dip your toe in and go, oh, it didn't work, let me retreat back. I mean, you're welcome to, but if you really want a great life, you're going to have to figure this process out. So, Break the Mold is what I would call the human ascension program. Okay, so I have many ascension programs. I'm a spiritual coach. This is what I teach. This is what I do. This is what I help people with. I have ascension programs that work through high levels of spiritual development. I have ascension programs that work through following the flow of life, understanding how life flows with you to meet you in your own synchronicity. I have programs that teach you about your power, about how to work with material money. And this program specifically is the map to understand yourself and in relationship. It's to understand your identity. It's truly the identity program, but of course I cover some relationship stuff in there a little bit here and there, because your identity is constantly going to be reflected by other people. You're constantly going to be in relationship. That is what it is to be human. You're constantly in front of mirrors. But it's understanding the map to human ascension by understanding the map to you. Who are you? That's what this program tackles. Who am I? How do I identify? And how do I present that identity into this world? How do I chase my dreams? How do I manifest them into real life? And how do I get myself into the understanding of what it takes to do so I don't just jump into Stormy's program, dip my toe in for 2 seconds, peace out, and I'm like, oh, there's nothing, why am I not living my best life? I'm giving you the real deal. Like, I'm teaching you how to actually get the results. And that's what this program is too. I make it very human. I ground everything in very simple human stories and human examples. I built this program to meet the human consciousness. And it's not that my other programs aren't human. I'm really trying to like contextualize this. It's that there are many different maps to awakening. The map to spiritual ascension through Break the Mold, my program Break the Mold, is the map to understanding you as a human and being confident and comfortable with your human. Your lowest self. The lower parts of you, which are the self-sabotaging parts, the parts that have a past, the parts that are a fucking mess, the parts that you might think other people wouldn't love you if you were real. Because to be human is just to be a shipwreck. Like, you're just like, humans are so messy. And this program teaches you how to love your human. It teaches you how to ascend through becoming happy with your humanity, becoming happy with who you're becoming happy with your goals, becoming happy with your North Star, becoming happy with your vision, becoming happy with your relationships, or setting boundaries in your relationships, understanding projection and mirroring, understanding shadow work. Like, this is the program. It's the full map. It's 12 modules. It's done in a very linear way. I designed the program in a way that is more mentally organized as opposed to some of my other programs are more channeled, more flowing. This is more mental, which I appreciate about it. And I updated it recently. So you get new Stormy, plus you get the other version of me that went through the entire program that I could probably not teach you today because I wouldn't know the step-by-steps, because I wasn't, I know I've said this in a previous stream, but I literally built Break the Mold while I was redesigning my identity and my authenticity, because I knew if I didn't do it in that moment that I wouldn't be able to slow the process down later in my life to show how I got here. How did I become this? And the next version of myself that I'm walking into, people will be like, how did she become that? Well, that's this program. It's Break the Mold. This is how. This is the original map. It's the map to human ascension as a human, not as in you channeling or you go tapping into mystery schools, although that stuff is wonderful too. And I do teach that as well. This is the map to you learning how to love yourself and learning how to walk through life with a positive expectation and positive belief in your own confidence and what that means for you. So that's what I got. It's a really great program. The link is in the description below. You can learn more there. You can enroll there. I have the promo code authenticity that you can use at checkout to get a nice fun discount. There's a steep discount there for you guys because I'm in an enrollment period. And that promo code is only good for the next couple of days. I am closing the enrollment this weekend. So if this feels like your jam and sounds like something that you need, that you want, that you desire, you want to step into your highest version of yourself, you want to be in your highest timeline, live out your destiny track, and you want the map that you can work and watch over and over again whenever you're going through these aspects or different parts of your life that you need that confidence boost. You need to understand your own radical authenticity. You need to create your vision and your goals for the future and understand where you're going and why. And if that's even the right direction, then this is your program. And you can revisit that at any time because you'll always have access to it. I do have a pay in full bonus, and there are payment plans. If you do the pay in full, I will send you a journal and a coffee mug to remind you that you are breaking the mold every fucking day as you become the most amazing version of yourself and as you absolutely fall in love with yourself in the process. Thank you guys for joining me. I left the link in the description below as well as the promo code. You can get all of the info there. I really look forward to seeing you enroll. If you have any questions or are wondering if it's a right fit for you, feel free to send me an email. I have my email tagged below as well. It's hi@stormycalder.com. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have around that to see if it's a good fit. And or if you have questions on payments or anything like that, like let me know. Is there anything else? Have a blast. I look forward to seeing you in the program. I hope to see you there. My programs are fun. They are fun. If you enjoy my live streams, you will enjoy my teaching content. Okay, I'm going to do a quick skim through these comments and see if there's anything that I want to comment on. That's it. That's what I got. Thank you for all of you who joined me during the stream. Thank you to everyone that watches this after. And I look forward to seeing you in Break the Mold. I hope you enjoyed the channel as an Akashic Records stream. I will see you guys soon. Peace. Bye.